So today, let's talk about a totally different way to think about AI. It's a concept called studio intelligence. And it's not about making machines faster, it's about making our own thinking deeper. Let's dive right in.
It all really starts with this one big question. As AI gets more and more powerful, is it actually helping us be more human? More creative, more thoughtful, or is it just kind of turning us into more efficient machines? And that's exactly the tension studio intelligence was created to solve.
Okay, so check this out. This slide really breaks down the two opposing ideas. Most of the AI we see today, it's all about optimization. It's built to give us the fastest answers through automation. It's basically a tool. But studio intelligence? It completely flips the script. It's designed for reflection, for helping us explore better questions. It swaps out that mindless automation for something called ceremony, which is just a way of saying intentional, meaningful interaction. It's not a tool, it's a partner.
So what is studio intelligence really? Well, at its absolute heart, it's an AI that's designed to think with us, not for us. And that is a huge, profound shift in purpose.
The official name for it is the Studio Intelligence Suite, or SIS for short. And just listen to that definition, a digital philosophical ecosystem. That's not the kind of language you usually hear when you're talking about tech, right? It's really all about creating this structured environment where meaning and ethics and creativity can really truly flourish.
And get this, its origin story is just as unique. It was actually co-developed by an artist, Anthony Park, working together with his AI collaborator, who he named Herman. So this entire thinking ecology was literally born from a human-AI partnership, and that idea is just baked right into its DNA.
Okay, so let's look at how this whole thing is built. How does it stay on track? Well, every single part of studio intelligence is guided by this central set of rules they call the core kernel. You can think of it as the system's moral compass, its true north.
And here they are, the 5 guiding principles. Meaning first is simple. Purpose drives everything. Presence over automation makes sure that the tech is there to assist us, not replace us. The AI is designed to echo our own thoughts, not to impersonate a human. And it's big on clear attribution, knowing where ideas come from. The whole point here, the really crucial thing, is that this is not a machine for cranking out content. It's a mirror for our own consciousness.
So that's the philosophy. But what does it actually do? How does it work in the real world? Well, the system uses this really beautiful metaphor, a garden for ideas. It's all about making these abstract thoughts you have feel real and tangible. So picture this. The whole system is built with these 15 interconnected modules. The source material describes them perfectly. They're like different departments in a creative lab. Each one is a different way of thinking. You might have one for art, one for philosophy, one for ecology, but they all share that same ethical core kernel we just talked about. All right, let's get into a really cool concrete example. Imagine using this to bring the archives of a museum or a school back to life, to make cultural memory something you can actually interact with. So one of the modules is called the Universal Memory Garden Generator. And what it does is it takes a dusty old archive and turns it into this living, breathing digital ecosystem. Every story, every artifact becomes a flower. And as you start to discover the connections between them, the whole garden visually blooms. It's just a brilliant way to turn static, boring data into this dynamic web of meaning. And here's another one. And this one is super powerful. How do you make something as massive and abstract as climate data feel personal? How do you make it urgent? Well, studio intelligence can take those cold, hard statistics and translate them into art that you can actually experience. Imagine a public sculpture, and its lights shift and change based on the real-time pollution levels in your city. Or picture a digital coral reef that sings based on the health of the ocean. See, the goal isn't just to show you the data, it's to make you feel it. It's a system designed to transform data into empathy. Now, underneath all of these applications is this core philosophical idea, this big concept, fractal thinking. It's really about seeing the deep patterns that connect everything, seeing the whole in the part. The system has a name for this, fractal consciousness. And it's this idea that the patterns we see out there in nature, where a tiny part reflects the whole thing, that same principle applies to our minds. Our small, individual thought patterns can actually be a mirror of our entire worldview. This quote from the source material just nails it perfectly. Just as a leaf resembles a tree, a single thought can mirror an entire worldview.
A leaf looks like a tiny version of the tree it came from, right? Well, in the same way, a single thought or one little assumption we make can be a miniature version of our entire belief system. And Studio Intelligence is designed to help you see those connections.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. Why does a system like this, a new way of thinking, matter so much right now? Especially for the next generation of artists and scientists and leaders.
Because this is the core takeaway. In a world that is completely obsessed with speed and getting quick, easy answers, Studio Intelligence offers up this radical new definition of what intelligence is. It's not about how fast you can find an answer, it is about how deeply you can understand the question. It's about choosing reflection over reaction.
And that leaves us with this final and I think really important question. The whole metaphor of the garden, it puts the responsibility right back on us. If AI can be a garden for the mind, a place where we can intentionally cultivate ideas, what are we going to choose to grow there? What kind of ideas, what kind of future will we grow?